Welcome to another episode of Sports with the Girlies, for the Girlies. We're back to back. Last time we came with all the smoke. Big Claw, first of all.
I came with all the smoke at Caitlin Clark. I got no backlash for it, though.
No,
actually, hold on, wait. No, I didn't. Some of the football players were trying to get on me about it, but I was like, I'm not having it because I was stating facts, so.
Honestly.
It was real.
Exactly.
I'm sure they know a lot, but.
Exactly. And I want to start this off by saying, first of all, my role is the moderator. I don't want people saying you're not talking, you're just agreeing with everything. I'm supposed to agree with everything.
It's her job.
It's my job to agree with everything and help the conversation move. I'll give my take every now and then, but that's my goal. All right. So today we're talking about some spicy things. I can't wait for y'all to hear about it. The first thing we have to talk about, ladies.
Ugh, I don't want to.
Is the shoe?
Is Caitlin, I don't want to say her name, CC's.
Double C's shoe deal with Nike, 28 mil, 8 years. I've heard both sides of the spectrum here kind of thing. Half of people are like, she's not getting paid enough, poor girl, like this and that, like feel bad for her. Other side is like, damn, that's a lot of money. So I don't know. I don't think 28 mil for 8 years for Caitlin Clark was necessary. There's other people that can get that 100% that deserve it more than she does, and she's brand new, has never played a game in that WNBA. I feel like it's not deserved.
In what world is that not enough money? For like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Especially for someone who has not played professionally yet. Her main market was college basketball in Iowa. So you're leaving your main market. There's no guarantee that all that fanfare is going to follow you. And that's what's throwing me off, because you're hoping that that's going to come, but you don't know that yet. Mm-hmm. So to put so much money and so much time, 8 years, when you have no idea what the payback's going to look like, is wild.
I think another big thing is, like, you're mentioning she's coming from Iowa. As I said previously, she is coming from a market that there's nothing going on there. So at the end of the day, of course she'll be the number one fan favorite in that area. Again, though, she is going to Indiana. Like, there's not much going on there either. So
Seamless transition.
Very much, I would say. I think it works out for her in her favor because she's coming in hot. I know Aaliyah Boston's there. Mm-hmm. She's an amazing player. She fell off, though, I feel like, a little bit due to her transition to the WNBA. Because she's not in South Carolina, you're in a place that has not as much traction. So I think having an upper hand for her is going to Indiana. So I think it's definitely a benefit for her to be there, because it's similar to the fact that in Iowa, there was nothing really going on, so she was the spotlight. She'll be the spotlight very much in Indiana as well.
But still, 8 years, $28 million for somebody that has never played in the league is absolutely insane, especially considering what comes in this deal.
Mm-hmm. What does it come with?
The shoe, the signature shoe.
Oh, dear God.
She gets a signature shoe, and she has not played one I have to look at the camera. One WNBA game.
I wonder what the shoe's going to look like, though. I'm intrigued. Probably going to look like trash, I'm not going to lie. But I'm really confused as to how she has a signature shoe. Asia Wilson doesn't have a signature shoe. That's my girl. Las Vegas Aces, my team, but I don't know what's going on with the...
And she actually has a market. Like, I'm still stuck on
She's,
that.
like, hot.
Granted, Caitlin has... I wouldn't say Caitlin has a market at this point. I say she has a fan base. But even then, social media fans and go out and spend your money fans do not translate the same. Mm-hmm. So, like, it just doesn't make sense. And how many people in Iowa are really walking around in basketball shoes? Like, let's be honest. Like,
no, yeah.
Not many.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in Iowa. Probably not a lot.
Nothing.
Probably not a lot of people in Indiana walking around in basketball shoes either. Mm-hmm. So, what are we really doing?
Well, I just think about, like, Sabrina Ionescu's shoe and how big that got, and, like, how it seems to be, like, the face of women's shoes in basketball. So, like, I see, like, even the women's basketball team here, like, you show up to practice, they all have Sabrina Ionescu shoes on. Like, everyone is big in her shoe right now. And if it becomes kind of like now we're going to start wearing Caitlin Clark's shoe, like, I think that'll be really weird, because It's not like she's established herself really in the league. And she's not huge in the sense, like, and big enough to be the person to have a staple shoe kind of thing.
Was Sabrina's with Nike as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do think, like, her shoe, like, in my eyes, I do think Sabrina is very much, like, the poster child for women's basketball shoes. Because I think of, like, her, and then you think of, like, LeBron and, like, his shoe for, like, guys. Everyone always wears LeBron shoes. Like, I grew up playing in LeBrons. But, like, there's obviously, like, NBA players that have their set-in-stone shoes, and those are, like, the faces you think of. And in my eyes, she's the one I think of for women. 100%.
Well, I got to talk to you all about something that doesn't sit right in my spirit. I have to bring in the scholarly perspective. It really makes me upset. And I know y'all don't want me to bring up race, but I'm going to bring it up.
Do it. I love it.
Okay. All right. We have Breanna Stewart has a signature shoe, right?
Yes.
Sabrina Ionescu, they have a signature shoe, right? And they're both by Nike. Meanwhile, the W was about probably 70% black women, correct?
Yeah.
And not a black woman has a signature shoe.
But is a black woman even signed, though?
Asia signed. She just have a
signed
shoe.
to Nike?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
There's a few of them who are signed with Jordan. I know there's like 2 or 3 that are signed with Puma. So there's a couple of signings in the sneaker world, but nothing.
No shoes yet.
It's odd to me that Puma doesn't have a shoe. I feel like Puma is like very much a low-key kind of brand, but I feel like they're very in tune with a lot, I feel like.
Did they not talk about giving Skylar Diggins a shoe?
I remember that. They talk. A lot of people talk.
Okay.
It's a lot
Was
of
that
talk.
Puma said this?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Puma's a little bit more, like, in tune with certain things, like, oddly. Like, I think Puma
Inclusive?
is. Yeah, like, more inclusive. Like, you just see them more following with a lot of the trends. So I could see them having, like, a signature shoe for a black female athlete, but I don't know why it's not a thing. Well, I know why it's not a thing, because people just don't, it's not inclusive. People are just not inclusive at all in general, but it's just odd to me to see that Puma doesn't.
Yeah. Nike just make me upset. I feel like they have beef with black women, and I don't like that. So,
but that's so
think a
odd,
part
because
of
I think
that-
of, like, Serena Williams,
Exactly.
and there's always beef with her, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like a part of that also has to do with the W's beef with black women.
Let's talk about it.
The fact that it's pretty much all of their moneymakers are black women, and yet they never use them when it comes to promo. They're constantly they will choose a bench player before they put one of their top scorers on a post. Like, they will choose a bench player before they put one of their top scorers in a commercial. Like, I don't get it. And, like, granted, like, even when they did the CarMax commercials, the past few years, it was like Sue Bird and like maybe one other player showed up once. Granted, Sue Bird's great. We love Sue Bird. Also, how long was she the poster child? Like, please, like, literally her entire career.
Yeah.
Since, 2004 she was drafted?
Absolutely.
Like, it's ridiculous how many people you look over constantly. And I feel like that plays into how brands look at them when they're trying to choose who to market. Because if you're not marketing them and they're your players, why should we care enough to market them?
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I think that's something that's super odd, because in general, like, growing up playing basketball, I feel like I've always seen it's a black predominant sport. Like, I've always played against black girls. Like, it's never been like, oh yeah, their entire team's made up of white athletes, because that's just not normal when it comes to a sport like basketball, because I've always seen a lot more black people playing. And I think it's really odd to see that shift kind of like in the W, because you would think that everyone's fighting for these positions to then go through college, high school, college, and then make it to the W and then be there and like have the same kind of fans and traction and everyone involved, but it becomes very much like a white sport again, like, and it just and I feel like that's a big thing with like all major sports in general. Like, the major leagues very much focus on the white athletes and take away from the black and other races of athletes.
I agree, and I feel like on one hand with the W, I feel like it's a lot easier for people to attack black women in basketball, and they're a lot quicker to do it than they are to attack white women. And I think a big part of that is when it comes to women athletes, especially in more male-dominated or like more masculine sports, it's always like, oh, they're like all of the negative things that they say are already attributed to black women just for being black women.
Right.
So to add the fact that they're in this sport on top of it, it's doubling it over. So it's so much easier to just jump at that. So at one hand, it's like, because they aren't at the forefront, they're not getting that level of backlash that would come with being in the forefront. But at the same time, you can't sacrifice, like, you can't make that deal just to, like, and call it protecting them, which that's not what they call it. But that's what they would call it if they had to defend themselves. And it's like, yeah, but we know that. And that's not going to go away. We're used to that. Like, they're not any more protected by you not highlighting them than they are any other day walking down the street as a black woman. Like, you're disservicing them more when they're putting their bodies on the line for you game after game, playing ridiculous schedules, like crazy amounts of practice, going overseas because you're not paying them enough, and you're not even giving them the care and audacity to showcase that. It's ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just think, I don't even know. I think it's just too far at this point. I feel like things just need to change. Like, we're all going, like, you're all going to play this sport, and you're all doing the same thing. You're all competing, and it's just not fair. And it's not fair, like, across the board. And I just think it's just not right. Like, it's completely just not right to the black athletes that are doing the same thing that the white athletes are doing.
And then it's like, if I was Asia, and I'm
how
many years into my professional career, I've won how many championships? Like, that one championship compared to what? Like,
yeah,
it's ridiculous. That means nothing. Like, I've done so much. I'm on the national team, like, and then to turn around and see someone fresh out of college who's yet to play any sort of professional level basketball, hasn't even proven themselves enough to be on the national team yet, which is a whole side point. And the company that I'm signed to just announced that they're giving her a signature shoe when I've been signed to them for how long? I would feel some kind of way, and I wouldn't be renewing that contract.
No, I would be pissed because when I think about it, like, again, Asia's resume is way more in-depth. Caitlin didn't even win the national title. How are you getting a signature shoe? Like, give that to someone that's winning a national title, performing all year, doing stuff to be an amazing player, and transferring it over to the W, then performing there. You can't give somebody that's never even done much of anything, from what it seems, a contract like that. Like, a huge contract like that. Like, that's so much money. A ton of money. And I wonder what is Asia's, like, what's her deal with Nike? Because to me, if I was Asia, I'd either be calling Nike and calling my agents and being like, what's the deal with this? Because how have I been sitting here signed with them for this many years, and I'm getting paid less than her probably.
Absolutely.
And I don't have a signature shoe. But oddly enough, I thought she did.
Who?
Or I thought it was there was talks about it.
It's always a lot of talk. One thing that these brands do is that they talk a lot, but we don't see much action. And this is a repeated thing that we continue to see. And so, from what I'm getting is, number one, Caitlin didn't earn this contract. She hasn't done anything to earn it. But then also, now I know your checks over stripes all day. I know,
all day.
I know. But I may suggest we may need to boycott Nike for a little bit. Not us, maybe the WNBA players. Like, if I'm Asia, I'm like, I've been here for how long, and I still don't have a signature shoe, and I won my championship in college. I came straight in, and I wasn't offered this incredible package of a signature shoe, and I've earned it.
It's not like Aaliyah Boston was either, and she was...
Right. So we may need to boycott your checks.
I want to see one of the NBA players say something about it.
That would be useful. That would be helpful.
I want to see that happen. But I see, like, someone like LeBron. He's a big fan of her.
Yeah.
And I love LeBron. LeBron's my guy, but he, again, is a huge fan of her. He would never say something about that. feel like.
We'll see. You know, not too much of my guy, not too much of my boy LeBron.
No, I'm
not
not.
too much. We're currently suffering.
He's going through it right now. In fairness,
I'm really getting through some.
But
depression.
he has been going through this for years, though. So I'm not. It's not like
each year is different.
This is consistent, though.
But this is a different experience. So give him a little bit of time.
True,
I'm saying,
true.
give my man grace.
I will.
Wait till the end of the season, and then we'll see. We'll see
what the talk is over the summer.
Absolutely.